So you're looking for a dog trainer here in Rochester, New York. It can feel like a pretty huge job, right? Well, that's what this is all about. We're going to break down a really practical guide just for folks living in and around the city. Just imagine for a second. You're taking a walk along the Genesee River, and it's actually calm. Your dog isn't pulling your arm off. They're not lunging at every single squirrel. It's just you two enjoying a nice, peaceful walk together. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? That really is the dream scenario. But the big question is, how do you get from a kind of chaotic walk to that calm one? Well, that's the how we're going to get into right now. Okay, so here's our plan. First, we'll talk about why training is so useful right here in Rochester. Then we'll look at your different options, how to pick the right trainer, what it all might cost, and we'll finish up with some awesome local places to go practice. All right, let's start with part 1, training in Rochester. This is really all about why having a dog with good manners makes living in the Flower City so much easier and more enjoyable. Look, training isn't really about teaching your dog to roll over. It's about real life. It's about being able to walk down a busy sidewalk on Park Ave without a meltdown, or navigating the crowds at the public market on a Saturday, or just not having your dog go wild when a bike zips by on the Riverway Trail. That is where good training really pays off. Okay, so now that we know why we're doing this, let's talk about your options. It's really about finding what's going to work best for your dog and what you're trying to accomplish. Most of the time, training goals fit into one of 3 main categories. First, you've got puppy training. That's all about socialization, house training, getting them comfortable in their crate. Then there's basic obedience, the essentials like sit, stay, come, and walking nicely on a leash. And then there's behavior modification for tackling the tougher stuff like reactivity, fear, or anxiety when you leave the house. So you're usually looking at 2 main formats, group classes or private in-home training. In-home is fantastic for problems that happen at home, right? Like if your dog jumps all over everyone who comes to the door. You can work on it right there in the moment. Group classes, on the other hand, are great for practicing focus around other dogs and people, which is exactly what you need for everyday life in Rochester. All right, on to section 3. And this one is a big one. Actually choosing the trainer. It's a really important decision, so let's talk about what you should be looking for. The absolute first thing to look for is the trainer's method. Today, the modern, science-backed standard is something called positive reinforcement. It's not just a trendy term. It means they use rewards, like treats, praise, or toys, to teach your dog what to do. This builds a really strong bond of trust and helps you get behaviors you can count on, even when things get hectic. And this quote really sums it all up. The best trainers know it's not about creating a perfect robot dog. It's about setting realistic goals so you and your dog can have a happy, confident life right here in the city. Okay, when you start looking up trainers, you're going to see a whole bunch of letters after their names. Don't let it overwhelm you. These are professional certifications. Things like CPDTK or KPA CTP, they're basically a sign that this person takes their education seriously and is committed to ethical, up-to-date methods. Let's get down to the practical details. What's this going to cost, and what should you be asking a potential trainer? This is all about planning out your investment. So here's a rough breakdown of what you can expect to pay for training in the Rochester and Monroe County area. For a puppy class or a basic obedience course that runs for a few weeks, you're probably looking at somewhere between $150 and $300. Private one-on-one lessons are a bit more, usually priced per session. And then you have the bigger packages, like several in-home visits or a board and train program, which are, of course, a much larger investment. When you're talking to a trainer, here are the absolute must-ask questions. You for sure want to ask about their methods and their certifications, but also get specific. Ask them, how are you going to customize this plan for my dog and my life? And, of course, you need to know how they track progress and what all the costs and cancellation policies are. No surprises. And for our last section, let's talk about where to practice. Because learning the skills is one thing, but you've got to take them on the road and actually use them out in the real world. Rochester is full of fantastic spots for practicing leash walking. If you want a nice open space to start, the paths at Genesee Valley Park or Highland Park are perfect. When you're ready for more of a challenge, the Erie Canalway or the Genesee Riverway Trail are great for working on focus with real-life distractions, like joggers, bikes, and other people with their dogs. Now, for off-leash stuff, like getting your dog to come back every time you call them, you absolutely need a safe, fenced-in area. The local dog parks are your best bet. Ellison Dog Park out in Penfield is a really popular one, and there are great options in Greece and Brighton too. Just a heads up, always check their rules and see if you need to register before you go for the first time. When you boil it all down, this is what it's all about. A dog that understands the rules is a more confident and a happier dog. And that just makes them an amazing companion to share your life with. So, are you ready to get out there and enjoy everything our city has to offer with your dog right by your side? The right training makes a world of difference, improving everything from your daily walks to just having friends over without any chaos. We hope this has been helpful, and we wish you the very best on your training journey together.